Hello, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Julie.
So now we're going to do a review of Wild Serengeti, which this is the Kickstarter edition. So you may see some variations in the pieces that we'll be showing you here. But it's for 1 to 4 players, 14 and up, and it's 45 to 120 minutes. So please check out our variant playthrough. You're going to find out from the review why we did a variant. So, great art, by the way.
Beautiful art.
So let's take a look at what you're doing in the game before we give our review. So it does take a lot of table space here, and I'd rather be zoomed in than zoomed out for you to read this the proper way. So this is a set collection pattern building game. It's an abstract game with a theme where you're trying to either get animals adjacent to each other or in a straight line at a certain pattern, or as they call what's that
terrain scene?
A terrain scene where they seem to be in certain terrain such as the water, the forest, or is it the savanna?
I think so.
And rocks.
And rocks.
So there's 4 different terrains, and what you're going to be doing is you're going to start out with so many cards, and you're making a movie of different scenes, a documentary, and you'll see here in the playthrough this is how many cards I got. Julie got this many cards, but it's a and so the game starts out with you draw 8 each player and you keep 4. These 6 are available for you to buy, and you have so many coins. You usually start out with 6, and it's played over 6 rounds. Mm-hmm. I'm going to the right camera here. So you have this, I think it's a toucan.
Yeah.
So you play over 6 rounds, and you get coins at the end of every round. On rounds 4, 5, and 6, you'll have migration. So what can happen is you have all these animals on the board, but some of them, as you see here, this pattern here, the brown is for 1 through 3 player, and that's the blue is for 4 and up players. So in this right here, brown, the rhino would migrate away, which can mess you up if you're going for certain cards where you need the rhino. Mm-hmm. And the blue would be for 4 or more players because there'd be more animals on the board. So that's what happens on turns 4, 5, and 6. And then you also get rewards on those rounds. So you do these cards randomly. By the way, this is score the most points game, if I didn't indicate that. So you're scoring around the board here. So in this particular reward, you want to get vultures. So whoever has the most vultures will get that many points times 2. So if I have 5 vultures, I'll get 10 points. Second place will get that many vultures times 1. And in here you want to get zebras on the last turn. But there's things that can modify that. You can get paws, as you'll see here. Those are wild. So if I have 2 vultures plus 2 paws, that would count as 4 vultures. So if you look at how a card is formatted here, if I want to score 3 points here, I have to get the jackal, a rhino, and a jackal in a straight line in exactly that pattern. Now they don't have to be adjacent to each other. So I could have right here, and a jackal. I have to get another jackal out. It have to be like this. But it could even be all the way over here. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that would make that pattern, and you can turn these in at any time on your turn, and that would score me 3 points, and you just get it around the board. Now this means you have to have a lion in the rocks, and then a hyena
in the water,
and that would score you 4 points. And the adjacent one. Do we have an adjacent one? Oh, here's an adjacent one here.
Okay.
You have to have a zebra next to a giraffe next to a gazelle. And they can be diagonal. So this would count right here. Because the zebra has to be in the savanna. Right there, that's that little mark right there. And that would score 2 points. Now, what's some things you can do as you're trying to complete these cards? How do you do that? Well, you basically have your cameras that you get to move, and you have so many coins. So I'd have 6, Julie would have 6. So if I go here, I can put out a lion anywhere I want, or an alligator, or a leopard if I wasn't messing up the board so much. Okay, and that would cost me 1 coin. Now, if Julie really wanted to go there, and you can have any number of players there, it would cost them 2 coins. So if Julie wanted to place out something, it would cost her 2 coins. And why are these locks here? Because you don't use this in a 1, 2, or 3 player game. So you lock it. If it's a 4-player game, you unlock it. So this space here is for discover large animals, any of those 3, scavengers, and migrant herbivores. Now these here, you can swap positions. So if I were to go here, I can swap this wildebeest with the alligator. Here you can move an animal 1, 2, or 3 spaces, and you can go into other animal spaces. You just can't end in the same space. And then here you can swap, take a card that's face up. And if you want to get more than 1 card, say I want to get these 2 cards, I get 1 for free. Well, I spend my 1 coin. And then I can spend another coin to get a second one, or even a third one, and spend 2 more coins. So it costs me 3 coins, in other words. Here you can get rid of them all, see what the next 6 are, take 1 as part of your buy, and then spend more coins to get additional ones. And so you'll see what's the anatomy of some of the cards. There's ways to score points. So not only do you get points for the rewards and just for completing them, but you'll see at the end of the game, at the upper right hand corner, if you have hearts, you'll see on the scorecard here. Let me show on yours.
Oh, sure.
The more hearts you have, I can get it to zoom in. Gosh, it's not
cooperating. You want me to try?
No, I was going to have to read it.
Okay.
All right, so if you have 6 hearts, it's 19 points. If you have 10 hearts, so it's 50 points. So the more hearts you get, the more points you get. You also can collect plants, like flowers, fruits, and leaves. And so if you have some of those, so the more bananas you have, for instance, that can get you points. If on the bottom of it, you're trying to do that pattern here. So on the bottom of cards, you'll see if you get certain kinds of plants, you score points, more points. So I don't know if that's focusing there. We're having trouble with the focus today. But it says here, for every banana you have, fruit basically, you divide by 2. So if I had 4 fruit at the end of the game, 4 divided by 2 is 2 points. And so you have to look on the bottom of the cards here for certain patterns. So that's why you would acquire them if you're going for certain kinds of things. Okay? And that's what this pile here, this deck here, is all the ones that have, you can get like a meat. Now why would you use meat? Well, this is a free action. Let's say I take an action over here and I move the lion 3 spaces, okay? And I need to get this vulture and the rocks. That's a free action. I can move the vulture and the rocks, and then I might be able to complete something. Effects tokens, if you get them, they allow you to ignore the requirement for, like, say the lion has to be in the savannah. Well, I can play an effects token to remove that requirement. So you can see that there's lots of different patterns here on the bottom. Divide by 3, divide by 2. Now this is a difficult one. You got to get a lot of those cards like fruit, but it's -4. So you could end up getting minus points if you don't get enough fruit. So that could be a difficult one to complete. Now what's at the very top, at the end of every scoring round, the hearts don't score to the end, but if you have a meat, for instance, you'll get a meat at the end of the round, plus the coins that you're going to get right there. And so you would use the meat, the effects tokens, and the coins to take actions here, to move animals around, to complete cards for points, and for end scoring. So, and you got to worry about animals migrating and trying to get the rewards. So, and then there is something you can get called rare here. Those can be on the bottom of cards as well, that allow you to score more points. And the animal right here, those are the wilds. Like I said, if I had 2 zebras and 2 paw prints right here, a zebra plus 2 paw prints would be equal 3 for that particular reward. So paw prints help you score these rewards at the end.
Yep.
So that was a quick overview. And you just got to look at the cards here. And it's pretty self-explanatory. So as you know, when we do our reviews,
I go first,
Yes.
then David goes, and then We talk about what we liked, didn't like, and what we were neutral on, and then
Yeah.
we both talk about how we scored it with the BGG rating. And I'm going to go first right now. So, this is a really fun set collection and pattern building game. I really, really enjoyed it. I think the pieces are absolutely amazing. They're fun to touch, they're hold. They're just awesome. They are just awesome. Better than any meeple, that's for darn sure. Because they look like the animals. I think the art on the cards is also very nice. It's just very soothing, and you know what they are. You don't have to guess which animal you're looking at. The big negative for me is the playtime. Even just for the two of us to play this game, it takes forever. And we're talking just the two of us. And this can play a lot, 4 people. So if it takes us a long time, 4 people would be like hours. And that's just too long.
Oh, it'd definitely be 2 hours.
Yeah. So that's why I said a neutral would be, you might want to consider, modifying the game to help with the time issue. If you're one like me that just can't do really, really long games, but you want to play something fun like this, you might want to consider modifying the game somehow.
Look, there's not enough going on to warrant this being a 2-hour game.
No.
You're just building patterns and sets. So
Yeah.
4 players doing the same thing over and over again, just moving around animals, it's not warranted. Okay, there's not enough depth to this.
But it is a fun game.
So you're going to see. I'm going to mention something about that as well.
Okay,
so
what do
let's
you
take a look
see,
what I'm
honey?
going to say. Yeah, so amazing production value. Remember, this is the Kickstarter edition.
Oh, right.
So you'll see, for instance, that these are wooden pieces. Now, it did come in a separate box, so it looks like you can acquire it.
Oh,
if
good.
you do get a retail edition, that you can acquire this separately. I don't know what else was Kickstarter that you can't get. Okay,
The animals?
I'm pretty sure this is standard.
Okay, good. I hope so.
I don't, but you'd have to check. Oh, I know this is part of the Kickstarter. This player piece. It's
nice.
cardboard in the other one.
Okay.
And this is Kickstarter here, the wood. But I think you can acquire these
Okay.
separately. Okay, so solid mechanics. I mean, for what it is, it's solid in what you're being asked to do. Moving around animals, to create sets, to complete patterns, and doing a little bit of worker placement here with placing your camera. So it is an abstract strategy game. When it really comes down to it, yeah, you're taking scenes. There is somewhat of a theme here. There is an expansion that has other animals, special animals we haven't played yet. But it would be interesting if you can move the lion to actually eat the zebra.
Oh.
I don't know if that's in there, but that would be thematic. Because they do film that in documentaries.
I know, but I don't like seeing that.
I'm just pointing out, though, that this is like the feel-good Lion King version. Okay?
I like this one. I like the feel-good Lion King version.
So it's too long with analysis paralysis. So you're going to see in the variant playthrough that we have that we cut it down to the length that it should be, which is 45 minutes. So watch our variant where we did less rounds, we don't have as many cards out, and we remove the plants, because the plants, when we were playing with it, you don't go for them. It's a waste of time, because with the deck being this big, okay, and you're dividing by 2s, or you got minuses to worry about, you're never going to be able to get enough. Well, maybe, but with the variation of cards and the fact that you keep on swapping them out every turn, it's likely, and people have said the same thing on BGG, you're not going to get enough flowers or fruit to probably score it anyway. So you need to even go for it. So you take a look at our variant, cuts down the playing time, it removes the aspect of the game that frankly doesn't work too well with the scoring. Okay, these, like I said, these cards right here, oops, gotta go on the camera, it's not working too well.
Yeah.
And other people have said the same thing. So we'll likely only play the homebrewed variant version, which you can see the playthrough. So it needed more play testing because you're only focusing on hearts, because hearts jump from 7 points for having 3 to 50 points for having 10. So if Julie only has 7 hearts, okay, if we go back to what I'm showing you here, Julie only has 7 hearts, which when you're creating your scenes here, you have this little like this, and you create your scenes, okay? And you look at the very top at the end, you look at how many hearts you have, okay, and you count it. But if I have 8 hearts, I have 33 points, and Julie only had 5, 14 points. That's a difference of 19 points. When we've played, whoever has the most hearts tends to win.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we changed how that scores as well in our variant. So that's my point about needing more playtesting. And then the minuses, the fact that they have cards that if you don't get enough, you get minus points.
Yeah, I don't like that.
You're just going to avoid them. You won't even get them. And so and my only complaint about some of the rules and the scene scoring cards is that some of it's too hard to read. And that's why the camera's having trouble focusing.
Oh, because it's too small?
Yeah, so if you look right here, it can be very difficult to read that. Some of them are. Let me see what they are. These aren't too bad. But I think it was the minus ones that were... Yeah, I'm trying to find a minus one. It could be a little too small. They could have increased the size of the font. And then in the rule book, there was an issue at times. Oh yeah, that's where it really is bad. Is that I can't see what that is. Right there, it's very difficult. I mean, you have to have really good lighting to see that. Now you can see it better on the card itself, okay? But in the rule book, you're looking at what the heck does that say? And then, so they did less than 8-point font, which is not a good idea. So that's my only complaint about the rule book, is that if you are going to put cards in there, make sure they're large enough so we can see them. So sometimes for people you're reading in a dark room or you don't have the best eyesight, you might struggle a little bit. So there are our positive and negatives. Let's see what our rating is.
Okay.
Okay, our rating is a 7.
Yeah.
You go ahead and read that, Julie.
Usually willing to play. It's a good one. I am willing to play, and I think it might even go up a little bit more with the motivation.
You read the bottom.
Oh, when played with a variant, otherwise a 6. Yeah.
That's we both agreed on that.
Yeah.
So Julie we don't know what each other's ratings are, but we both said that it would be a 6 if we had to play it as designed.
Yeah, it's just,
It's too long.
It'd be really hard.
Yeah, but when you see the playthrough, we will play the game the way we've modified it, and we hope you check it out.
Yes, please do.
And keep in mind, you may be like, well, we like this idea and that idea. I mean, this is your game. If you own this, you can
make it your own.
However you want.
Yep.
And we may find that after we've played the variant a couple times, we may need to change it
True.
some more. But, give us some feedback if you do watch the playthrough with the variant, if there what ideas you have. But right now, the way the game is designed, we don't care about getting the fruit, the flowers.
Mm-hmm. No.
In fact, it even discourages you with some of the minus scoring.
True, exactly.
And with the hearts being the likes, that's what it means. The hearts are likes.
Yes.
Being so disproportionately high in scoring, that's
you just go for the hearts, yeah.
So the way the game is designed, it forces you to pick one strategy.
Yep.
Which would have been resolved if it had more playing testing.
Yeah, probably.
All right, anything else you want to add?
Nope. I think I've said everything I need to say.
All right, so thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.